as far as the shield goes, I don't know if I care either way because I don't like the idea of a mantle. I like Winter Soldier being Winter Soldier and Falcon being Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't have to
Um,
pass off the shield.
I guess if one of those characters were just to wield the shield, as a weapon, it would fit better with Winter Soldier because Falcon's got to fly around all the time holding a shield. Doesn't really make much sense. But
yeah. Well, it was an interesting arc in the comics where you had Bucky taking up the shield and realize it was kind of a redemptive arc for him, and that was a big deal. And I don't think the MCU wants to spend that much time investing in another straight white character, as a main.
well,
player.
they've announced a Bucky and Falcon series,
Series,
right?
yeah, on Disney Plus.
So I'm assuming all these series are going to be prequels because if it's a Bucky Falcon, well, that couldn't be a prequel because they never would have been together.
Yeah.
Until now. So is he going to be Cap in their series?
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah.
Oh. Is it going to be called Captain America and Winter Soldier? Or are they still going to call him Falcon?
Well, if they do it like they did in the comics, it's going to be all about how America's racist and won't accept a black Captain America, and this is Trump's America. There you go.
I hope not.
I know.
But I was commenting on that on Twitter with someone who was talking, or no, it was on YouTube. He was just talking about how, if diversity is so good, why did they need to force it? And I was just commenting. I was like, well, you don't need to force diversity. What they need to force is their brand of diversity.
Exactly. Yeah.
And their brand of diversity, they don't like individualistic characters who are black or women or whatever minority group. They don't like them when they're individualistic. They want the black characters have to always be confronting racism and always be confronted by their race.
Token stand-ins.
Yeah, women have to always be addressing sexism.
Yep.
Because that's how their brains work. Like they read racism and sexism to everything, and so in their minds, their lives are continuously being confronted with these things because they kind of choose to in their own minds.
Yeah.
And so when they see individualistic characters, like if you look at Morgan Freeman or Denzel Washington or Will Smith, like they don't play black characters; they just play any character. They play characters.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. You understand what I know this white guy.
To raise the consciousness of people. That's a very difficult thing to do.
Were you trying to do that with your painting?
I'm trying to do that with my painting. I'm trying to do it in my work. That's why I try to choose roles that are devoid of all of the usual cliche stereotype issues.
They're just individuals, and they're not constantly, sometimes race falls into their stories and stuff, but usually it's just that they're, like Morgan Freeman's the president, or he's God, or like whatever.
Yeah.
And so they don't like that because they think that that's denying the reality of their whatever their subjective truth or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they feel the need to have characters that are always about their identity intersection. So if it's a gay character, they always have to be addressing the fact that they're gay. If it's a woman, they always have to be confronting sexism and pig-headed men. If it's black guy, he's always got to be rolling his eyes at the insensitive white people or whatever. So
yeah. Jason Black just brought up the cringe-worthy A-Force scene.
Oh,
what'd you think of that? We've got
okay.
this.
So here's my take on it. Okay, because I did cringe watching it. But the sad thing is, if that scene was in the 90s, like it would have just been fun. And it's kind of sad that that's the world that we're in, because gender war stuff used to be fun.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Boys versus girls and girl power and boy power and all that stuff used to be fun.
Now it's all about white man bad.
Yeah. Now it's like about representation and finally women get to do this or whatever. It's sad. So I have to like force myself to think like, okay, I would enjoy this back in the day, so I have to try to put my brain in that mode, and then I can kind of enjoy it as like a fun girl power moment or whatever.
Yeah, you
But
can
like,
do that. I look at it in the way of, from my lens is always have to look at it in the cultural moment, looking at it as cultural mythology. So that's different. So we have just different ways of looking at
yeah.
it. You know?
Well, that's it. And it's sad that I have to do that. But I mean, do you remember that old commercial with Michael Jordan and Mia Hamm? Do you
I
know
don't think so.
Mia Hamm's like the famous soccer player on the women's soccer
Oh,
team?
anything you can do, I can do better. That one.
Yeah, anything you
Yeah,
can
that
do,
was
I can do
funny.
better.
Yeah,
And they go back and forth, and she beats him in soccer, and he beats her at basketball, and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
doing different sports. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it used to be fun gender war
yeah,
stuff. You used to have like Family Feud episodes that was boys versus girls, and
yeah.
now they've sucked all the fun out of it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's permeating culture more and more. I mean, I used to think it was just I just experienced it so much because I was in the academic world, but no, it's definitely trickled out of the academic world and it's everywhere now.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that was silly about that scene, the whole notion that Captain Marvel would need any kind of support. Like,
Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot by making her so powerful.
it didn't make sense. Like, Spider-Man's like, how are you going to expect to get through all that? And I was like, did you just see what she did to the ship?
Yeah,
Like,
she does that to the ship. She takes out his entire fleet in a snap.
that whole moment didn't make any sense. Peter Parker's like, oh, how are you going to get through all that? And I was like, are you kidding? Like, it's going to be easy for her to get through all that. But then then all of a sudden they're like, she has help, blah, blah, blah. And they all run in. I'm like,
Good thing
she
Wasp
doesn't
is there
need
to help her.
she doesn't need your help. Like, okay, whatever.